Still to be reviewed, Mother, the Human Centipede, Marmaduke, and now we'll do The Illusionist.
Yeah, let's just all calm down. You know, we've had explosions, we've had man-eating piranha, Kelly Brook naked. Let's just take it down. Let's all be calm, because The Illusionist is a very gentle, animated French film made by the guy Sylvain Chomet, who made Bellevue Rendezvous. It's an old Jacques Tati script that he wrote that was hidden away for years in his drawer. You know, the guy who did Mon Oncle, the classic French slapstick film genius, some would say. And it's a very gentle, calm, beautiful piece of animation. It's basically the story of a guy who's an old school magician at the end of the 50s, early 60s, when people are getting into pop music and showbiz and stuff like that. And he's old school. He has a rabbit in his hat, and he's he's not incompetent, but he's a little bit. He's not great. Put it that way. He's not the world's best, most exciting magician. Clearly based on what Jacques Tati looked like, and he ends up weirdly in Scotland, in Edinburgh. He meets a girl who they become friends. And she kind of sees him as an uncle figure, I think. She kind of runs away with him, really. And he basically is trying to find someone, somewhere, that will be interested in his act, in his old-school magician routine. She just wants to kind of break free of a fairly dull, rural Scottish life. And they just kind of end up becoming friends. And that's pretty much all there is to it. There isn't much more to it than that. As I say, it's very stately, gentle, but absolutely beautiful to look at. Intricate, animated vistas of Edinburgh and London. For some reason, the director moved it all to Britain. I don't really know why. Apart from the fact it looks absolutely fantastic.
I think the studio's based in it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. I didn't know that. I absolutely adored it. It's an absolutely intricately made piece of work.
Because you know Edinburgh well. You go up there a lot.
And you sit there and you watch it and you think, oh my God, yeah, almost photorealistic animated vistas of Edinburgh. It looks incredible, but it's also absolutely, really, really moving in the end. One of the reviews today in one of the tabloids said there was no great emotional connection. I was absolutely emotionally connected right from the start. It's really melancholy all the way through, and it's got a devastating, quite dark ending. He leaves a note for the girl, and I won't say what it is because it's fantastic. I thought this was an incredibly beautiful piece of work.
Nigel?
Yeah, I didn't feel quite so strongly as Boyd about it, but it is astonishing to look at. And it's interesting that in this era of Toy Story 3 and computer animation, we're used to a different style of animation altogether, that he's gone back to, in a way, a kind of mid-period Disney, which is the Aristocats and 101 Dalmatians, which is real pen and ink stuff, but so intricate and done with such detail and such love and affection that it evokes Edinburgh in the late 50s, and people who live there say it's uncanny. He's literally sort of drawn all of the shop fronts and stuff like that. The story itself I got less involved in, and it's interesting that it's been suggested that Jacques Tati actually put this in a drawer because it was in part a sort of love letter to his own daughter, who he'd neglected because he was a bit of a workaholic, and he felt he'd sort of written this, but it didn't really fit in with the character he created for himself in things like Monsieur Hulot's Holiday. So he sort of slipped it into the drawer, and it's interesting that it's been brought out again now and made by somebody else. And it is made with a lot of skill and with a lot of love, but I didn't feel the same emotional connection that a lot of people have. I mean, people are giving this 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars right across the board. I didn't feel it was that strong.
Not 5 stars from Nigel.
No.